We're here again for another week with Penn State head coach Mark Pavlik. Coach, you guys had 2 road wins this weekend. First, you had Stanford on Friday night. Let's talk about that win.
Good win for us. And back on the road again to Ohio State. It seems like that's where we spend our entire January. I've asked the Ohio State coaching staff for a key to St. John Arena just to let us in and out whenever we need to. And I've offered a key to Rec Hall for them since they're going to be here this weekend. But Stanford, ranked number 4, a John Costi coach team is always a tough team. I like the idea. I like the way that after a real tough first game that we kind of eked out a win when we actually were receiving game points, so they had a chance to put us away. We kind of stood up to that one. Then the next game, middle of the game, they smacked us around a bit, and I was worried about how our team would come back after being more or less blown out in game 2. We came back with some great effort and just kind of was real steady. I like that from this team. You couldn't tell what the score was by looking at them on the court. They don't seem to get overly amped up, or they certainly aren't overly celebratory. But the good news to that is they don't become overly despondent either. The heads don't drop. They just want to compete. And I think this team is, from what we've seen this year, or so far this year, this team is a truly competitive team.
And in the past 2 weeks, we've talked a lot about your newcomers, your freshmen, and this week, especially against Stanford, Joe Sunder, one of your veterans, put up some really big numbers, and Edgardo really controlled the offense. Can you just talk about those two?
Yeah, Sunder was unreal against Stanford. In fact, his only error came on an overpass of all things. The front row setter went up and got Joe. I don't think Joe knew he was front row. He kind of stuffed Joe there. That was the only error. So it took an overpass with the setter stuffing him to make any error. The other swings he had were against good blocks. Joe had a very good weekend, and not just offensively, but I think he had 15 digs over the course of the 2 matches. I think he had 3 blocks. I had 3 or 4 aces, and he played very steady. Joe is becoming so comfortable with his role right now. It's great to see. Eddie, I thought after that stretch of game 2 against Stanford where we were getting beaten up a bit, Eddie settled things down, and our offense really started to click from there. And he really made his choices for the rest of the match and the UOP match. Couldn't find fault with. I thought he played well. I thought he defended well. He served extremely well. So those 2 guys, that's kind of what we expect of them. Sad to say, they when you reach a level as a 5th-year senior and returning All-Americans, you say, yeah, that's what we expect of them. But they're talented enough to be the best in their positions in the country this year.
And then Saturday evening, it was Pacific's turn. Let's talk about that match. Another win, 3-1. How did that one play out for you guys?
Yes, I thought, well, we saw Pacific play Ohio State the night before, and we also felt that Pacific tended to be a little bit streaky in that match. They didn't show a lot of streakiness against us. I thought they played us very tough. They block well. They got some big guys on the outside. I thought their setter did a good job early. We managed to get that first game win, the tight 25-23 win. Then we kind of took control of the match from there. We big win game 2. They came back and really kept it close all in game 3, but we were never behind late. So Eddie just kept siding us out. And then game 4, we really wrested control away early and kind of opened up a big lead. Just kind of cruised to the end of that one.
So after a pretty big weekend on the road now, you guys head back into South Gym and practice this week and get ready for a homestand. What are you looking for to practice this week after a pretty good weekend?
I just think we keep things rolling. We still attempt to get better at everything we do, whether it's offense, whether it's defense, whether it's serving. There really isn't anything glaring out there that we're throwing up our hands saying, oh my goodness, what do we got to do? But it's not a sprint to the finish. And so we've just got to keep making improvement day to day, and whether that's in controlling what we do with the ball, whether that's controlling our attitude, whether that's getting ready to play Mount Olive. I think all of those things come into play here this week, and as they do any week.
All right, Coach, we'll see you later this week.
All right, sounds good.